I know we've got folks just joining us from all over the country, and likely you have just finished watching a presentation video sharing the Ambit Energy opportunity with you. And we're going to close it out for you here this evening. I want to check in very quickly. Well, before we do that, we got a few more folks checking on. We've got Shelly from Maple Shade, New Jersey, Kevin from West Virginia, Sergio from Houston, Texas. I think I missed a few as well. But let's go ahead and do our live look-in. I'm going to switch over to the home of Kathy Craig, where our very own Tony Procopio is live and standing by. Tony, are you with us?
We're here. Can you hear us, Sean?
I don't know. Let me hear. Yeah, we can hear you, Tony.
All right, we're having a blast over here. Just got finished watching the EnergyGoldRush video and really excited about it. And I'd love to introduce Kathy Craig. She's a senior consultant on our team, opened up her home to us and a whole bunch of people that are on her team and not on her team, and that's the spirit of Ambit. So we'd love to hear from Kathy Craig. All right.
Hi, Sean. Welcome back. And
Good.
if Tony turns the screen, you'll see the Christmas tree is still up. But I started my business about 1.5 years ago because I became a widow going on 10 years ago and was left with 5 kids between the age of 5 to 15 and no job. So I definitely was looking for something, and Ambit fell in my lap 1.5 years ago, and it's made a tremendous difference in our life. And I thank Jerry and Chris for bringing this business to us.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you again for opening up your home here this evening, Kathy. We're all behind you as you build a business that can take care of you there. So thank you so much. Quick shout out, if maybe a quick final goodbye. Can I hear y'all?
All right.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much. We're going to close it out here. I'm going to switch back. Thank you again, Tony and Kathy. Take care, guys. All right. We've got a few more folks that have, let me mute out there. Fantastic. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am very, very excited to close things out for you here this evening with a very special guest that we have from down in Texas, an individual that has spent time with Tony on some 5-star trips, I believe, at least one for sure. This individual is an executive consultant, has taken, been awarded or won, I guess you could say, several 5-star trips, and is also a Pure Energy Award winner. In addition, something not everyone knows, but maybe you do, she is a self-proclaimed, prior to Ambit, as having been the world's most anti-network marketing person in history. And so we're super excited to have with us Lynn Wynn. Lynn, are you with us?
I am here. Can you hear me?
You're with us. The floor is yours, my friend. Take it away.
So much, and I want to thank everyone for having me and inviting me into your home and allowing me to share really what Ambit has done to me and my family and the people around us, and why I actually chose Ambit after being that anti-network marketing person. And there's a reason for that. Let me explain that. It's because of ignorance, really. I mean, I was 21 out of school, and I was introduced by my father-in-law, of all people, to Amway. So can you imagine? I was horrified. I was scared to death. I was like, there's no way. I'm not pushing products on people that they don't need. And nothing against Amway. It's a great product. It's just not me. It's not for me. Business owner. I used to own and operated 8 retail stores in Michigan, and it was a wonderful thing. I thought I had it all. I thought I owned the business, but long and behold, what I didn't realize was the business actually owned me. I mean, I was the first one there, the last one to leave, and the last one to get paid. It didn't make sense. And you know, when you're caught up in that, you didn't understand. My husband was an engineer for General Motors, and he thought, you know, we had it. Between him and I, we had it. But 2007 in Michigan, with the bailout of the auto industry, we found ourselves really having to start all over again. And so when we moved to Texas, one of my things that I promised him is if I ever did get into business again, it would never be a traditional business. I didn't know what it was, but I would never have a business own me, and I would never have that overhead and that inventory. And so I decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And for those stay-at-home moms out there, you know, I get it. You know, we were just, it's all about our kids. And for a stay-at-home mom, guys, has a job of any sort or a business, you have an advantage over us because all we know and the only people we know are other stay-at-home moms. So we did not have that huge sphere of influence that you guys do. And if I can do it, I know anybody can do it. And so here I was, and I think the only reason that I actually chose to do Ambit chose to do, to come find me, because I was sitting there and the lady, one of my great friends, who actually, our kids went to martial arts together, and she was sitting there and saying, "Hey, Lynn, how's your electricity bill?" And I was like, "Oh, it's horrible because I'm from Michigan. This heat is killing me." And she said, "Let me help you save money on electricity." And I thought she was just doing me a favor, guys. She knew I was so anti-network anything. She didn't even approach me. So she said, "Well, let me help you save money." And I was like, "Cool, okay, here's my information. Do what you got to do." I was her customer for 9 long months, 9 months. And she never approached. There was a business, and the funny thing is, she actually approached every other parent in that entire Kung Fu school. One day, another father came in and congratulated her to promote it to senior. And I looked at her and I said, "Senior what? You don't work." And she started laughing. She goes, "Lynn, you're my customer." And I'm like, "Girl, I don't buy anything from you." And she's like, "No, you remember that electricity I saved you money on? That's what I do." And I looked at her like she was crazy. "How do you sell electricity?" I'm like, "Are you serious?" I said, "I'm curious. Show me what you're doing." So she actually took me to a meeting, quite similar to what you're looking at. And I looked at it, and all that, the residual income just didn't click, to be honest with you, because I've never had it. What I sell, I made. And what I don't sell, I don't make. And that made sense. But all I knew was, look, I told her, let me run this test, okay? Because the last thing I want to do is push products on people that they don't need. So my mom was 70-something years old at that time. And so she had a gathering and she had a friend there. And I went up and I said, "Hey, Auntie, electricity bill. Can I take a look at it?" And she goes, "Sure, honey." She pulled it up, gave it to me. I looked at it and I said, "Me, if I save you money on your electricity bill?" She goes, "Are you kidding? Do what you got to do." And it was that moment that I was like, wow, if I can feel good, my mom's 70-plus-year-old, friend to be my customer, then why not? It makes so much sense. It is a service. It's not a product. And I don't have to quit being a mom to do it because I was a full-time mom. I had to take my kids to martial arts, my kids to dance, my kids to this and that. And, and so I was like, okay, if I can try this and I can do this part-time, let's see where it goes. But you know what? How God just gives you things mysteriously when you need it the most. Because not long before that, my daughter came home and decided, she said, "Mom, great news, go medical school." So how many of you have kids out there, right? When you hear your child wants to go medical school, you're like, "Oh my God, that's great." Oh my God, how am I going to pay for it? I don't have a job. My husband is a great supporter, but he's supporting us. And I don't want her to go out, come out of school with a huge debt. I said, how am I going to pay for it? And so when this came along, and I said, no, maybe this is why it came into my life. And so, lo and behold, years later, I've been doing it for 6 years. But when my daughter turned 18, and my daughter, she turned 18, and you guys, for those who's been around, there's an Ambit kit. So that's what she got for her 18th birthday. I gave her this little Ambit kit wrapped up, and she wanted a pair of shoes, okay? She was really mad. She opened it up, and she was furious with me, okay? And so I was like, you know what? You buy your own shoes with this. You go find your customer and buy your own shoes. And over time, she's 23 now. She's finishing up her first year at the Law School of Cincinnati. And get this, every single month, I do not have to worry about depositing a check in her account. And she doesn't live in a dorm, guys. She lives in a 2-bedroom apartment on the hill in Northern Kentucky. And that's because I got her started. And she has executive consultants in her team. She's got a whole skew of regionals and seniors in her team. That's really helping her. So you don't really help yourself, you can help her. My son turned 18 last August. So what do you think I did? And he wants to go to medical school. I put him in the business. Now he's got a team I'm building in Ohio. I'm trying to build one in, and Japan opens up. Oh my God, how incredible is that? And the opportunity to what you have, we missed the deregulation, the beginning of Ambit Energy in the US, okay? I started 6 years ago, which it's already been 4 years. You guys, if you're starting now, you have that opportunity again, just like I do, because Japan is brand new. It's not about who you know, it's about who you know that knows somebody. And it's just out there talking to people, asking people. I have to share a very funny story with you. I know everybody's excited about Japan, so I want to share this really quick story with you. There's a little Tex-Mex restaurant that my husband and I go to frequently. We love them. The owner comes up, sits with us, and I'm asking everyone. So I said, hey, Roger, do you know anybody that's Japanese? My husband looks at me, looks at Roger, and he starts laughing. He goes, Lynn, Roger is Mexican. That's us. That's it. And Roger started laughing, and we all just cracked up laughing, right? Roger goes, actually, I'm El Salvadoran, and I know 3 Japanese people. Just don't know who you know that knows people in Japan. So now we're talking to them. Guys, it is an amazing business. The deregulation really only starts once. You don't get a second chance. And I can't stress it enough. It's completely changed our life. And, we've talked about, if you saw the business presentation, we talk about financial freedom. And for people like me, and, my husband has a job. He was an engineer. I had my own traditional business. There's no financial freedom because what you make, you just use. There is no residual income. The residual income is the financial freedom. And that big light bulb moment happened, unfortunately, at a really bad time in my life. But fortunately, it did happen because last Christmas, my father passed away. And I went down there, and my mother ended up in, she had cardiac arrest, and she had that broken heart syndrome. So I spent time with her. Not working. I received 5 deposits from Ambit, 1 for the weekly income and a residual income. That down after everything was, settled down, and I added all up. If my husband did not work for 1 single day, that was that light bulb moment, and I said, oh my God, financial freedom can be obtained. And it was obtained through a business that was done on a part-time basis, over time, not overnight. But was it well worth it? Absolutely. Had I known it would be the way it is, I would have worked much harder and faster. Guys, it is the greatest opportunity. It is for us and our family. It's for a lot of people that I know, and I've met, Tony and Diane, and it's the same with them and everybody else. So, I just recommend, just make a decision tonight. We're not here to convince you to do anything, because we convince you to join. We have to convince you to work. You have to convince yourself that's what you want. Convince yourself that. Get started. Be your own first customer. Have questions? Ask the person next to you. Feel comfortable before you get started. But if it's not for you, I just ask you, please be the customer, if you can, of the person who invited you, and help them obtain their goals, all right? And there's all these things you can do. I want to make sure I didn't go over my time, so that's my alarm there, guys. But, because I get so excited sometimes I go overboard, okay? But it has changed our life. Now I'm looking at generational wealth because I'm helping my kids too. With that being said, make that decision. Take your own financial freedom in your hand. Nobody else's. You know what's going on in the world. And all I can say is thank you again for having me come and join you, and God bless you, and hope to see you all on the next 5-star trip.